Today is day 16 of 21 days studying the secrets to spiritual breakthrough from the life of Daniel. Our focus verse is Daniel 5 verse 11 to 12. And today we focus on the part, and I call it facing heart messages. And it's about the hand that wrote that message on the wall. Now, our prayer focus for today is to pray for the editors of newspapers to receive understanding to convey hard or difficult messages. Not only let us pray for them to interpret and convey messages the way the world does it, but that they will show a different spirit in the reporting of events. Let us pray for them to focus also on reports of good and uplifting things, and not to create the idea of conspiracies where there is none for the sake of selling the news. Now there was a rebuke and an interpretation of the handwriting by Daniel when we read Daniel 5 verse 22 to 28. Before Daniel gave the king the interpretation of the message on the wall, he first delivered a strong rebuke. Daniel knew by experience that such a rebuke could have him killed if the king was offended. So he was not in this for the rewards or the position promised to him, but for obedience to God. Now, if you and I want to follow the example of Daniel and see the breakthroughs he saw, we need to learn to hear God's voice clearly. We need to become skillful in conveying difficult messages with clarity and without fear of man. After Daniel's rebuke and interpretation of the wording on the wall, if the king repented, I am sure things may have turned out completely different from him than it did. But he did not, so the word became true that very same night. God wrote a sentence on the wall of the king's banqueting hall, rebuking him as king. How awesome and shocking that must have been to see that hand literally writing in front of your own eyes. It was literally the hand of God writing there, even the same finger that wrote the 10 Commandments on the 2 tablets of stone for Moses. And that in the midst of Babylon. What does writing on the wall look like for us today? Today, God continues to write hard sentences on the walls of our hearts, and His purpose is still to make known His ways to us, to correct and guide us, to lead us in His ways. Like the king of Babylon, when those corrections come, we have a choice how we are going to respond. Taking no decision is a response too. Won't you ask the Lord today, what are the hard messages you've received that may have even offended you from friends or family, or the Lord Himself that you have ignored? Won't you kneel down before Him and ask forgiveness and make right every wrong, so you won't end up in judgment? You won't end up losing a position. You won't end up in chaos. May the Lord bless you.